Good evening, everyone. I am Dia, and I welcome you all to the seventh episode of Talk Without Constraints, a series wherein the guest speaker will be sharing their first period experience and will also engage in a conversation around menstruation. So let's begin by outlining our organization. Sarkari School is an initiative by We Citizens Foundation that promotes high standards of education for students attending public schools. We, as a group, strive to raise awareness of Indian government schools and to promote a positive narrative about them. Many of our significant projects really assist and support students from underprivileged backgrounds. One of our projects is Project Vedana, which aims towards creating awareness campaigns to reduce school absenteeism, dropouts in girls during their menstrual cycle in rural areas through active involvement of youth and creating conversation around normalizing the taboos and stereotypes around periods. So far, Project Vedna has led a large initiative on reducing the absenteeism of girl children due to menstruation by conducting workshops in government schools and engaging with young and driven people across different states. Now, my co host Garima will introduce our guest speaker for today's episode.
Thank you, Dia. Today we'll be hosting our special guest, Miss Vidhi Bahuguna, and I have a great pleasure to invite her to our seventh episode of Talk Without Constraint. Vidhi Bahuguna is a class 12th student, a learner by heart. She has been a co-author to many publications and have been speaking for quite a few years. She believes that periods are as normal as breathing. She is expressive and a free soul. She is an excellent speaker and also loves to read about nutrition. She has a fire inside her to speak up and let people be aware of menstruation. Now let's begin. But where is Vidhi?
She's rejoining in a second. I think we should wait.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, she's here.
Okay. So we welcome you, Vidhi. So my first question to you is, were you aware of periods before you had them for the first time? If yes, then who taught you about it?
Actually, I was aware about it, and my mom taught me about that.
Okay. So how was your first period experience?
It was really
Painful as well as scary at the same time. Indeed, I knew about it, but being a teenager, it was very scary for the first time for me to see blood and everything. It was the first time I was exposed to this much blood and pain, and so yeah, it was scary.
True that. I mean, like, even my first time was scary. I can totally relate with that. So, Vidhi, as we all know, like, we live in a country with different religions and cultures, and yet there are a lot of myths that go around. So, are there any myths and stereotypes associated with periods which were like followed at your own home?
Yeah, it was there. No, it is still there. It is like during menstruation, if you touch the pickle, it will get spoiled, and you do not. You have to stay away from it, and you should not enter in the kitchen. Such things are there.
Yeah, even like we can't, do religious things like we can't enter the
Ah,
mandir, which
yes,
is
we
there.
cannot enter in the temple and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, true that, true. So, like, is your school infrastructure menstrual friendly?
To be honest, it's not. It is not menstrual friendly.
Like, how do you feel about that?
Like
Like,
I
what
feel that
changes do you expect? Like you want कि अगर नहीं है menstrual friendly, then what do you want कि हाँ ऐसा
I
होना
feel I feel
चाहिए?
that the pain should be validated, you know. It should not be like "Okay, you need to stop overreacting over something." It is not that a woman is overreacting. Like we
Right.
don't, you never know that what she is going through. There's a lot many changes in her body, hormonal level, what she's feeling. Nobody is trying to understand that. So I think we need to validate it more.
Right. Right.
Okay, so next question to you is, what do you think about text application on sanitary pads?
Ma'am, now so it's not there, but it's not there now, but it was earlier there. I think it should not be there because it is such a thing that it should be accessible to everyone. And if the tax is there, it would be obviously on a higher prices. So I think the tax should not be there.
Right.
Okay, so are you comfortable discussing menstruation with your family members, like how sensitive or insensitive are the male members of your family when it comes to talking about periods?
Like we cannot openly tell like we are on periods, or we cannot say it openly, but yeah, my father, if he knows, so he's quite supporting. Like he gets me hot water bottle and chocolates and everything. So yeah, my family members are quite supportive.
Yeah, even I feel like I feel like कि जो male counterpart होता है like they know about everything yet they don't express it, like they don't want to show you कि हाँ we care about you, but they do somewhere and they know कि हाँ he she or she is suffering from
Think it's
something.
not their fault, no. They are growing up saying that it's a thing that should be hidden. It is not
Yeah,
something that you should expose or you should, express it. So I don't think it's their fault as well.
yeah, true, that's not their fault, but like I
Mm.
hope कि आने वाले generations में थोड़ा वो होना चाहिए, open होना चाहिए the
Yeah,
male counterpart.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so Vidhi, like, have you ever missed school due to periods? And if yes, then what was that? Like, what's that particular discomfort or fear or reason that made you do that?
The fear of pain because I bleed heavily. So it's the fear of stain that I'll get stained. And the second is I get a lot of cramps. I cannot stay up from the bed at least the first 2 days of the period are very deadly for me. So
Oh my
it's that.
god. Okay, all right. So, काफी weird होता होगा वो चीज, those days and
Yeah, it
yeah.
is.
Okay, so like according to you, what can be the possible reasons for absenteeism and dropouts during menstruation, and how can we as individuals can work on that issue?
I think it's the embarrassment that we people create. Like if some woman is walking and she's having stain on her clothes, then everybody will get to stare her like what, uh, why she's having that. And I think everybody knows about it. We need not to make it as a issue. Like we need to normalize it. The
Right, right.
the point is like we should be open about it. It's okay. Like because I believe we people believe that's why you all exist. That's why the humans are coming, and it's a
Right,
very natural and phenomenal natural process. I would say so. There's nothing to be feel ashamed about it. I think it should be validated, and everybody should be sensible about it. So the major issues will be resolved if everybody
right.
is sensible about it.
Yeah, even I feel like there are a lot of girls who feel uncomfortable and
Yeah.
कि staining हो जाएगी. Even like back in my school days, even I had experiences like that कि staining हो गई थी and I was walking around putting a book like behind my back कि कुछ दिख ना जाए. So yeah, I had those embarrassing experiences.
Mm. Though it's not embarrassing, but we are made to feel like you have did something wrong. I think that should not be done.
Right, right.
Okay, so my next question is, you must have heard of the menstruation leave policy. So menstrual leave is a specific form of time off for those who experience period pain in our country, where menstruation is still a taboo and people are not very comfortable talking about it. And there are a lot of arguments that go around, like for women have been in workforce for decades and they have been managing well. So why do we all suddenly need to provide them with menstrual leave? Would you like to say something on that?
Yeah, sure. I think the point is being, I agree with it that the earlier women were managing it quite well. But I would like to say also that the women earlier were not going out, they were not working. Like today, women's they are going out, they are managing their households, they are doing everything in their houses as well as they are, getting everything. They are doing their jobs, they are doing everything. And the second thing is there is a major difference between the nutrition that those times were provided and now. So, at that time we were having everything pure out of farms. We were having like farms to house. Now it's not like that. We are having certain chemical food, processed food. So that is, affecting our life. So now PCOS, dysmenorrhea, these things are very common. So it's very hard to manage for a woman to go through pain, to go through bleeding, and still go to work. So I think the leaves should be validated.
Right, right. And I
So
think like in
according to
India,
you,
Bihar
more
is the
policies.
Sorry?
yes. I was saying like Bihar is the only state in India which provides menstrual leave, and
Yeah,
I think कि और states को भी ऐसा initiative लेना चाहिए
yeah, for sure,
provide
for sure.
menstrual leave. Yeah,
Because we as a
So
women know
according,
that how difficult it is.
yeah, true that.
yes. So I was saying, some new policies related to menstrual leave should be introduced or not.
I think they should. Like rest is something women deserve. They go through a lot.
Yes,
है ना? They
yes.
go through hormonal changes to the serotonin drop in their body. Then everything. A person never know that what a woman is going through. So I think policy should be made.
Right. And even not the policies regarding menstrual leaves. I think I read somewhere in UK. So there's a company which does not provide menstrual leaves, but like उनके washrooms में there is ऐसा system कि women can take break during their work. And वहीं पे सारा सामान होता है like tampons and pads and chocolates. Everything is there, so you can take break in between and go there and chill
Even
out. So
it is also a good way. Like even on the third or fourth day, you are not having that much pain. So it's a good thing.
right, right. To कि एक मूड अच्छा हो जाएगा और काम में
Uh,
सारा ध्यान
a
रखेगा.
comfort kind of thing. Like
Yeah,
you
right.
will feel comfortable after eating it, or you will comfortable after changing. So it's a good thing.
Yeah.
So do you think there is a need to normalize the conversation around menstruation? Give reason for the same.
For sure, like I don't think there's a need of making it as an embarrassment, and I think everybody should come forward to normalize it because it's a normal thing. It's a normal thing indeed. So it should be treated normally. There's nothing to be shamed about it. It's a very natural phenomenon. So it should be treated like that.
Right, right, definitely. And especially like in a country like India, like where there's still, a lot of taboos and stereotypes.
Lots
So
of myths,
we really
lots of
need to
myths.
work on. And itna
Yeah.
awareness होने के बाद भी we can still see there are a lot of people, even like in our families. अभी भी like periods होंगे तो mama would say कि नहीं पूजा नहीं करनी, इसको नहीं खाना, वो नहीं करना. So I think that should be changed, no?
Definitely, they add more tension towards, we are not supposed to go there, we should not go
Yeah.
out, we should not eat this, we should not do
Yeah,
that. So
and
there
even
are
the
many
mood
restrictions.
swings. Yeah,
Yeah,
and like
they
yeah, अगर कोई लड़की कोई वैसा बिहेव
cherry
करती है
on
so
the
people
cake.
would yeah, so people would say कि ये तो ऐसी बोलती है पीरियड्स पे होगी. So I think ये सब चीज़ वो काफी weird and rude
That's
है,
a harsh
but
statement, I guess. That's a harsh statement. That should
yeah,
be stopped. That a woman is angry that you'll guess upon your time that she's
yeah,
menstruating. That's a harsh thing.
it's a very mean and rude comment towards a woman
Yeah,
because
very, very
you
rude,
can't feel
very
what
rude.
she's feeling, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
nobody
okay.
asked a
So
man like,
yeah. So, Vidhi, I'm sure you've heard about that. So, senior female official in Bihar recently rebuked and made a fun of a girl who asked why government couldn't provide sanitary napkins. So, what's your opinion about that? And if you had been there, what thoughts would you have experienced? And do you
so
believe that government ought to start paying more attention towards period poverty?
I didn't get you, sorry, because of the audio.
Oh,
It got
okay, I'll repeat the
disconnected.
question. Yeah, I'll repeat the question for you. So, recently, so basically, a senior female official in Bihar rebuked and made a fun of a girl student who asked why the government couldn't provide sanitary napkins. I'm sure you heard about that. So, what's your opinion about that? If you had been there, what thoughts would you have experienced? And do you believe government ought to start paying more attention towards period poverty?
Yeah, definitely. Like government should take some steps because and yes, I have been through there. Like a teacher of mine told me that what's the need to go washroom every 2 hours? Like you are making some nonsense. Like आप बहाने बना रहे हो ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता. So I think there needs to be more sensible about it because everybody's body work differently. Like some women bleed very heavily and some are not bleeding that much, but some are having so many mood swings. So it is like not everybody is same. Everybody body is going on differently. Some are facing this or some are facing that. And so I think yes, government should pay more attention towards it because
And I think like
because
there are a lot of government schools too, who provide free sanitary napkins to students.
that's a
And
very good initiative and I
yeah, so
appreciate it.
policies like these should be initiated, especially in the rural areas where the girls are not even
Girls
that
are
much
not
educated
aware
about
that
menstruation.
much.
Yeah, so I think period poverty should be focused more on rural areas and
They are from a underprivileged area, their
yeah.
parents couldn't afford that. You
Mm-hmm.
will spend 50, 60 because a good quality of sanitary napkin is that
Yeah,
much of cost. So I think it's a very good initiative if the government is providing them for free.
yeah. Okay, so how comfortable were you talking about about having periods in front of the boys in your school? And like, do you feel boys should be educated about menstruation too? If yes, then what difference would it make?
I think everybody should be educated about it, not only boys, even the girls. The girls go through it, but they do not know that what this, why it is happening. So I think it should be like everybody should know about it, and men's especially because in future you are having your sister, your wife, you are having everybody around you. You're living in a world. You only have your males and females, so you should know what the other person goes through every month. So I think yes, males should be known about it too.
Yeah, true
Even
that. And
females should be open, like what we feel, what we go through, what it feels like. I think
yeah,
yes.
true that. I mean, and आज के टाइम पे आई फील लाइक कि काफ़ी जो लाइक मेल काउंटर पार्ट है दे आर गेटिंग एजुकेटेड एंड या सो इट्स गुड थिंग आई थिंक इन नियर फ्यूचर इस चीज़ का काफ़ी इम्पैक्ट पड़ेगा टुवर्ड्स सोसाइटी
Yes, yes, that's right.
या
Vidhi, have you heard about Jan Aushadhi Kendra where pads are available for 1 rupees?
Yeah, I have heard about it. In that
So
peg pouch, no?
are you using those
I have
pads?
used that once. I have used once.
So do you feel the quality of that particular pad is not what government should provide? Means
I think according to me, it's good. There need not to be any changes. For me, it's suited. It is good enough.
Alright, that's great. That the government is providing quality materials and not like कुछ भी ऐसे ही
Exactly.
दे दिया just for the sake.
I
Yeah,
too
good to hear
used
that.
it in I too used it in an emergency, but it was good.
Okay, okay. So, Vidhi, like, how do you think young teens should take care of their hygiene and diet while menstruating?
Like, if a girl is using sanitary pads, she should be very careful that she's changing it within every 5 to 6 hours. Plus, the nutrition, the food she's putting inside her body, because food plays a very crucial role, you know, because of the serotonin levels, women crave for sugary foods, so that because sugary food instantly gives you a boost and you feel very good, but after eating that you'll feel bloated, you'll have more cramps because uterus contracts a lot. So I think it's okay. I understand that you have a lot of cravings, but instead of processed food, you should choose more over the natural foods. Even you can have bananas that is naturally sweet, as well it contains potassium, so it will help you in your cramps as well. So I think nutrition plus the hygiene should be maintained. And if a woman is using menstrual cup, she should change every 8 to 9 hours, because sometimes we tend to forget it because it doesn't feel anything. So
Yeah,
it's very important to take proper bath and take care of our hygiene and nutrition.
yeah. I even heard that caffeine, you should not take caffeine during periods,
You should
and
not take no, you should not take caffeine
yeah, and like मेरी मम्मा भी कहते
because
हैं कि खट्टी चीजें नहीं खानी during your periods.
it it gives a sudden rush. Okay, okay, your blood sugar levels spike and then it's suddenly very drop. So
Oh,
it
okay.
it will make you more fatigue after you have your chai and coffee. You feel very good, but after 2 3 hours, you feel sudden fatigue because the blood sugar level suddenly spike down. So it's the that thing. That's why it's recommended to stay away from caffeine and not take it.
Maybe you should take more like go towards a more natural thing. I would say कि fruits.
More natural thing. It's the fennel seed or ginger water. You can boil the fennel seed, ginger water, plus it's cinnamon also. It helps regulating it, the blood sugar levels. So it will help even in your cramps. These things are also recommended. Even
All right.
bananas are there.
Okay, that's something new for me. Thank you so much for the information. I'll definitely try it.
For sure.
So, so here comes the end of our episode, Vidhi. It was a great experience talking to you.
It was my
And
pleasure. It was my pleasure.
what message would you like to give to the young menstruators and the youth?
That it's okay to stay in bed. Your pain is valid, and I am proud of all the women for enduring this much pain, and yeah, we all are proud of you.
Okay. So thank you. I am privileged to propose the vote of thank on this memorable event. First and foremost, I thank our guest, Ms. Vidhi Bahuguna, who, despite her busy schedule, has found time to grace this event. I thank all the distinguished invitees present here for accepting our invitation. Last but not the least, I thank my co host for your cooperation in making this event a responding success. Once again, I thank you all for your attention and I wish you a great day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.